Hello, this is Curtis Horge, a licensed abundant public insurance adjuster. My next guest came on the show once, but was caught in a massive hailstorm, so we had to stop the recording. But I brought him back. Stay tuned. Hello, this is Curtis Horge, a licensed abundant public insurance adjuster. I got a special guest on today. That our first interview was kind of distorted, so I brought him back. Let's welcome Mr. Ron Snouffer. How you doing, Ron?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me back on.
Definitely. Ron's with National Claims Negotiators. I like that, man. That's what we do. We negotiate. So when you had that, you got caught in that hailstorm. Did you was parked in the parking lot of a building? You were going, I guess, look at some kind of roof. What was the situation?
Yeah, we were taking a look at a roof that had already been damaged by a previous hailstorm. And then while we were there during our inspection with the adjuster, it started hailing again.
I bet you pulled your camera out, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the rules of the game, right?
Did you get it bought?
We did. It's all behind us now. So
that's good. That's good.
Taken care of.
That's wonderful. Well, Ron, I appreciate you coming on the show, Ron, and tell us about yourself, how you got into public adjusting.
So I got into public adjusting in 2012. I had previously been in the construction industry, and one of my clients got hit by a tornado, and that major tornado that hit Arlington in 2011, and I think it went like 17 miles long, and so there was tons of damage out there, tons of work if you knew what you were doing. And I didn't have time to help her with her insurance company. And like 9 months later, she called me back and she let me know she had hired a public adjuster. I was like, that's cool. What did they do? And she told me that they negotiated with the insurance company and made sure she got all the money she needed.
Wow. Okay. And so that piqued your interest to say, I want to do that?
Piqued my interest, and I decided I enjoyed that aspect of it much more than waiting on contractors to do their jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah. One thing I like about public adjusting is when we adjust the claim, we move on. We don't have to be there for repairs, and people have a problem where something happens after the repairs. That's not our forte. The contractors handle that. So it kind of helps us kind of get in and get out. You know, I like that aspect of it. You know, want to make sure we do our job while we're in there, of course. But that's one thing I like about being a public adjuster. It allows for certain freedoms. So you don't have to worry about, be as involved in the construction portion as a contractor would be. I can imagine you probably have people call you like a month after you finish your job and say, hey, this is going on and this is leaking. And you got to send somebody back out there to try to handle that. Is that correct?
I did. I mean, one of the worst phone calls I got was on Christmas Eve. Somebody said that it was snowing inside their house. And we had put the roof on that summer. And then, so we had to scramble to get somebody out there to the property and find out that one of the kids had opened a window upstairs, the second floor, and it was snowing from the second floor into the first floor.
Oh, man.
That had nothing to do with the roof. You're
yeah.
It was our and a window's wide open.
Wow. Well, but you still got to get out there on Christmas Eve and try to find that, so that's the thing. But yeah, so that's awesome. So how did you, I think you spoke last time about who mentored you when you first kind of got into public adjusting. Who was that person?
Oh, I had several mentors along the way, but one of my first guys that actually started talking to me and let me know how to handle claims and things like that was Doug Morris with Continental Adjusters. He was a big help. I got to spend 4 hours on a golf course with him, and always going to appreciate that time that he opened up and told me the facts of life when it comes to public adjusting.
Yeah. Doug was that. He's that type of guy. He's always been like that. Very helpful. He knew my dad back in the day. He always talked highly about my dad. I don't know if you know, my dad passed away last month on the 17th. So we honored his service here recently. But him and he talked highly about my dad. I like Doug. So that was awesome. So so you're now, as far as the Texas Association of Public Insurance Adjusters, you're the current Treasury of that association. That's correct.
That's correct. I'll be the vice president here in 2 months.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations, man. It's good to have you on the board, man. Everybody appreciates your expertise and what you bring to the board. I like your carefree spirit, you know what I'm saying, and how you just you live a good life, you know what I'm saying. You take care of your family and you do the business, and I see your Facebook posts and different things. Y'all out doing great things. I love to see that, man. I really appreciate you sharing that with us, you know what I'm saying, on your social media. And so basically, so we'll be in Houston, I guess, for the next TAPIA meeting. Is that, I think it's right, Houston?
Down in Woodlands, yeah.
The Woodlands, yeah, yeah. I like the Woodlands, man. It's a pretty nice place. Me and my wife, we go down there and hang out, and it's a one-stop shop. You go there, you got your hotel, you got your all your shopping stuff around, you got your restaurants. I mean, it's just a nice little weekend thing to do. The Woodlands is pretty nice. So basically, as far as public adjusting, what are some things that you try to avoid when you're dealing with public adjusting? What are some things you like, or you don't want to get involved in, and you try to steer away from?
Some of the unethical practices in our industry. We see posts all the time about, I'm going to maximize your claim, or I'm going to do your supplements for you. You can't be a supplement person as a PA, and you can't be a PA and a supplement person, in my opinion, because you either need to work for the property owner or you're not. You can't work
Right.
for a contractor and do supplementing just because you have a license. That's not ethical.
Right.
And it seems like there's a whole lot more people today that do that and actually have a license, or even work for a contractor for that matter, and have a license. Badger posted the other day about a contractor who's both a PA and a public adjuster, and he adjusted the claim as a PA and then told the property owner if he won't charge them their fee if they hire him as the contractor.
Oh, wow.
It was like, wow.
That's kind of close to the edit right there. I always tell people we got to work exclusively for the property owner. Any contractors call me, I say, hey, I got to talk to the property owner. They have to hire me, not you. It can't be no third party like that. So, and I'm like, who wants to sit around and just get supplements on the back end of a claim? I don't want that. That's a lot of work, and they're already kind of fighting you on those items, and here you are coming in on the back end trying to get them to pay overhead and profit or something, like on a roof claim. It's not a lot of money in that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure guys get licensed, they choose which way they go in this industry, but that's not the right. I agree, that's not the correct way to go. You want to be able to handle a whole claim.
There's a whole little niche industry that just does that, and they're fighting over last $3,000 to $10,000 on a claim, but they're doing 500 of them a month, and
Wow.
The ethical guidelines there are blurred every single day, and I don't. At this point in time, all we can do is educate the public on what is
Right.
what a public adjuster does, and then educate public adjusters on what they're allowed to do ethically. Because I think that you get your license, and this is a big discussion here lately about whether or not it's too easy to get your public adjuster license. And
Yeah.
the other day I heard that only 54% of people pass the PA test. Well,
Yeah.
the first time they take it, that's really good. If only 54% pass it, but the bigger issue is, once you have it, do you understand what your ethical guidelines are of being a public adjuster?
That's right.
You have a fiduciary duty to the property owner, nobody else.
Right.
And I think there's just too many people are trying to drag a gray area into where it's black and white.
I agree. And so that's incredible. I know there's at least 3 different tests that they kind of rotate around. You know what I'm saying? If you take the test again, you want to take the same test.
Right.
They made it some kind of difficult. And I asked my dad. I said, Dad, why don't we know about public adjusters? And we're licensed and bonded. And we used regular license up to 2003. Then they came with our Texas license. He said, we tried to keep the riffraff out. You know what I mean? That's what y'all did so good keeping the riffraff out. You kept the public out. So nobody don't know what we do. We kind of introduce this to people, but this is a license trade, and it's not an easy license to get. It's not like a regular adjuster license. It's a tough license.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know that it is necessarily too easy to get a license. I think there's not enough guidance on what your duties are as a public adjuster. So um, one of the recommendations was that there's a mandatory 2-year apprenticeship or something like that, or so many claims when it comes to becoming a public adjuster, because you don't want people to get into the industry that learn bad habits,
right?
Because they're told everybody else does it this way, and in reality, not everybody else does it that way. Only the people that are breaking the law are doing it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely some gray areas. What do you think about, because TAPIA being the Texas Association of Public Insurance Adjusters, we wish that we hope that all public adjusters would be a part of what we do and try to hold themselves to the high ethical standard we do as public adjusters. But what do you think about maybe TAPIA coming up with maybe some kind of I don't know, flyer or something, or some kind of note or saying that here's a list of things public adjusters should know and at least be aware of, some kind of, general information type thing, kind of a summary of what we know about the insurance codes and what we just talked about, fiduciary responsibilities, everything. It just like a 1 or 2 page thing to say, hey, as a public adjuster, you should be able to do this and you should not do this. Do you think that'll be effective?
I think it would, and I think they need some help on the public relations side for TAPIA. I don't know how many members actually help out on the public relations side, and getting the word out and educating the public is a huge thing in our industry. I mean, 9 out of 10 owners or property owners that you talk to never heard of a public adjuster before.
Yeah, still getting the word out. Who's over the ethical committee at this time? Is that still Blair?
Ethics?
No. So you say again.
Public relations or ethics?
Public relations. Who's over that?
I think it's.
We can find out, but I think we need to probably look into that. Get with them about maybe putting something together. We all have a good opinion about what's right, what's wrong, and just so they'll know. And for more information, contact TAPIA. Try to get more people to see that, hey, here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to be doing, because while they're out there doing that, and the people get an experience of them doing that for the first time, it's a bad experience, and it makes us all look bad.
It does. I mean, they lump all of us in a category together, and there's a reason why TAPIA only has so many members. Yes, we want everybody to be involved, and we're open to people being involved with TAPIA, but that also speaks to the fact that we do vet our membership. We don't let everybody in, and if you have a track record or a history of violating ethical standards and professionalism, then we're not going to let you in.
Yeah. And I like that. I mean, I'm okay with that. But I guess I'm a person that's willing to give second chances. But it's got to be proven that you abandon those types of practices. And you're on a better course now. I mean, you may have been uneducated or didn't know. But for the most part, like I say, we screen everybody coming into TAPIA. We have to, because we want to make sure we can hold position we have with TDI, the relationship we have, and plus down on the floor in the Senate, with our lobbyists and things, to make sure we put ourselves in a good light. So if we're connected to someone that is not in a good light, it looks like we're all kind of in cahoots together. So that's we have to protect our position in our influence. And so, that's the way it is. But there are some good public adjusters out here that's not attached to TAPIA. That can be. It's probably by choice they've not joined, but I wish they would, because we're the ones fighting on the front line to protect the industry in Texas.
Yeah, and we've been able to establish ourselves on a national presence because we've been able to work with our congressmen and our senators down at the state level and get bills passed that help property owners and help public adjusters in tandem. But I mean, we only have so many people. We're all volunteers at this point in time, and it takes money in order to lobby. And the insurance company has tons of money to lobby.
They do.
We'll go down there and interview or testify, and it'll be one or two of us, and the insurance company will have an army of guys, 20 in the back, that are all going to testify on behalf of why it should be the way it is. And we've seen that over the last 10 years. We've seen higher deductibles, we've seen ACV policies, cosmetic treatments, crazy stuff on a regular, where you'll have roof surface endorsement. We've seen cosmetic on metal before, but now we're seeing it on comp roofs and modified roofs and so forth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense, because when it gets hit or damaged, either from hail or wind or tornado or whatever the case may be, and now they're saying that it's just cosmetic.
Not for long.
We had an engineer about 45 mil TPO. Well, GAF, their above scrim is only 21 millimeters. 21 millimeters is very, very thin.
Wow.
You got a scratch in it that's the depth of 10 millimeters. And TPO, what happens with TPO over its time is, on year one, it's going to be at 45, but over the next 10 to 15 years, it's going to reduce down to about 25 mils before it reaches that scrim, and then it's no longer warrantable or a good product anymore. You can literally wipe a TPO roof with your hand, and it'll come off with a white residue from the TPO. And so now you add a 1 millimeter, 10 millimeter scratch in it. The effective life of that roof is not there anymore.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So, like I say, it's really no quick answer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these all these different roof systems and different things we deal with, roofs and fire claims and water damage claims, and I don't know about the hurricanes. I don't know what they're going to look like. What's going on now? It's a lot of crazy stuff with that. Something hit Texas, man. It's probably going to be a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the foundation is kind of shaking a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But we'll all be down there working and trying to do what we can to help people, man. That's what we do. So they're going to need the help anyway. Even though they got a policy, they still got to get the national claims negotiators to come down there and help them facilitate that.
But what we found out after Hurricane Beryl is a bunch of those property owners, when it's a named storm, have 5% deductibles, and they didn't know.
Yeah. Deductibles are higher, premiums are higher. So it's still safe to say that they said Texas and Oklahoma has the highest premiums in the nation, and they still saying that?
I think Florida is by far.
Florida is now?
Okay. One of my clients who his house got wiped off the face of the earth in the hurricane. It's still, all they did was bulldoze the remnants that's there. And he said he's never going to be able to build back because he's just got his lot for sale, because it's going to be like $150,000 a year for insurance.
Wow.
He's on Fort Myers Beach, and he'll never be, he can't rebuild because he can't afford the insurance.
Wow, man, that's unbelievable, man. That's what a burden. Wow. I mean, yeah, Florida's been on the radar for a long time. A lot of people having problems in Florida. I mean, a lot of them are moving here. I'm noticing. They call you, say, "Hey, I want to work with you." Like, who are you? Most of the contractors and restoration companies get a lot of calls from people like that. But Ron, I appreciate it, man. Like I say, you coming out and being on the show, man. Just talk about your company, man, and what you do. So, what would you say is like your expertise? What do you target as far in this industry? What do you normally work with?
I deal with affluent or large loss property damage.
Awesome.
Currently, I have 3 fires. All of them are over $1 million on. I have 2 very wealthy individuals that their vacation homes have been damaged, and so that's what we're dealing with right now. But
that's good, man.
I'm
sure.
I have 12 states that I'm active in right now.
12 states. That's awesome. Well, you traveling a lot, huh?
Traveling a lot.
I know. Doug Morrison told me, he said, Curtis, you can stay home, make good money. You can travel, make crazy money. So I always remember that. Man, I appreciate you being on the show, man. Thank you for coming out. Anything else you want to say, man, before we tap out?
Thanks for having me back on.
Definitely. Much better show. We can hear you now. It's clear. Like I said, that hell was unbelievable. We kept going, but when he got it to edit, he said it couldn't get you out. It couldn't get all the voice stuff in there. So, but I appreciate you being on the show, man. We'll definitely have you back, man. A lot of stuff going on with TAPIA, a lot of changes in the industry. We want to be talking about that, talking about the industry as a whole as public adjusters, our duty, our job, and so we love what we do. We appreciate it. But thank you for coming out, man, and thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. This is Curtis Hall, your licensed abundant public insurance adjuster. We thank you for listening in. I want you to like, share, and subscribe for more information. Thank y'all. We'll be back with much, much more.